Hello, I'm Ant, and a very warm welcome to this, my second video. I very much hope it will be better than the first one, although I make absolutely no promises at all. So in this video, what I wanted to do, having spoken in the first video briefly and introduced the Corvus magazine and Miscellany, what I want to do in this video was to talk a little bit more about certain aspects of the magazine and in particular the submissions. So if I can work out again how to get over to the screen capture. Yeah, there we go. So that is the cover of the first edition, which we looked at in the first video, the video introduction. And as you'll see from this, we have two sections: poems from readers and artworks from readers. And those two sections are currently the two sections that are predominantly the outstanding sections in terms of publication. So what I've got here is the magazine's index page, and the items without highlights are done completely, finished, edited, and ready for publication. The items in purple highlights are still being worked on, and the ones in blue are the ones that I actually want to talk about in this video. Submitted poetry, submitted artworks predominantly, and also featured guest poets and featured guest artists. So turning now to the magazine itself, hopefully you'll see on the screen, yes I think you will, the section featured guest poet. Now this is, as I've already explained, a quarterly magazine. It's a digital magazine. There'll be no hard copy, certainly not initially, because it's just prohibitively expensive to do that. So each edition will feature a guest poet and also a guest artist. And the idea really behind that is that there'll be a focus on three works. It isn't necessarily always going to be three, but we decided from the, just for the first few editions, that would be a reasonable number of submitted pieces per featured guest. So the featured guest poet for the first edition is a young poet called Alexander J. Farrell, and Alex has submitted three of his poems, an ending, Adieu, Your Majesty, which is a villanelle, which is quite fascinating, and England, which sort of takes the form of a ballad. Journey of two people over, in fact, to what would have been then the American colonies. I have produced two pieces of artwork to go along with these submissions. So I've created these artworks myself, specifically to reflect lines from the poems that have been submitted. So if we can just make this a little bit bigger, if it's possible. I don't know if it is possible or not. No, it doesn't seem to be, does it? Not exactly sure why that is, but anyway, it is what it is. So I think it's because of it's on side by side. But anyway, this poem and ending starts with the line, "So life becomes the land it treads," and I've produced an artwork here, "Life Becomes the Land It Treads," which basically goes along with that poem. And similarly, the poem "England" um, is a poem about a young yeah, a young couple who attempt to travel to the Americas to start a new life, but unfortunately are shipwrecked. And again, I've one of the lines in the poem is is one of the expressions, I should say, not the line. One of the expressions in the poem is the retching sea. So I've again produced a bespoke artwork that goes along with that. But the main point I wanted to make about this really is that this section featured guest poets, and the analogous section featured guest artists. Are there really to highlight the works of those two people invited to submit their work? Um, what we'll do for anyone who fills those slots is we will additionally, and we have done so in this case, if we just move forward to the skipping through the advertising section. What we've done there is we've featured Alexander's book and put the link to where you can buy the book. It's available as almost all books from Amazon. So there's a link there and a little bit of blurb about it, and a sample review from Amazon. So by being the guest poet or guest artist in the magazine, anyone who fills those slots will get free advertising as a thank you, basically, and also a shout out from me for whatever book they have produced, if any. Moving on to the next section of the magazine, submitted poetry. What I'm trying to do is to get subscribers basically to submit for each issue a range of works that they've created. So in the case of submitted poetry, what I'm hoping will be the case is that anyone who was subscribed to the magazine will submit their own poetry for me to print in the following edition. And because obviously it is a digital magazine and not hard copy printed, I'm not so constrained to print only so many as I would be if it were the hard copy printed magazine, because obviously there's a huge amount of cost to printing each page if it were actually to be printed. With it being digital, I have the facility to really put quite a lot of submitted poems, certainly 20, 30, even 40 submitted poems, into each issue. So what I'm hoping will be the case is that people who have subscribed will submit their own work, and I will be able to print that in the magazine, and those people will therefore get exposure for their work. Now, obviously, this is the first edition. No one clearly no one has submitted anything, because how could they? No one knew it existed. So obviously, from the point of view of the first edition, what I've done is I have just reproduced 3 poems that I've written. Um, and all of the 3 poems are ones that appeared in my novel, The Limebrick Mist, because in that novel there's a poetry competition um, with various characters in the novel standing up in front of an audience and reciting their poems. And all I've done here is basically I've just chosen 3 of those poems and I've reproduced them here too um, as examples. But I've also put some placeholder text boxes into the draft. And what I'm hoping to do is to find a few people at least. And I don't know really, I'm not entirely sure, to be perfectly honest, how I will find these people. But what I'm hoping to do is to maybe via Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or some other online forum of some description to find a few poets, amateur poets, or certainly poets who are not well known, and just invite them really to say, hey, would you like to submit this new magazine? Explain what the magazine is, which I think the first video and this really the intention of this video, I guess, is partly to explain to anyone who might be thinking of submitting a poem for the first edition, how that would work. So basically, if you are watching this and you are a poet of some sort, and you think, okay, yeah, what's this guy talking about? Well, there's a section called submitted poetry, and the 3 poems there already. And what I would like to do is maybe get at least another three, 4, 5 poems, not by me, by someone else, um, and feature them in the magazine. Uh, Moving on through the magazine, skipping through it, I will now go back to the screen share, hopefully, if I can. Yeah, there we go. So we have the section featured guest, featured guest artist. There we go. Featured guest artist. The article featured great artist. The great artist in this edition is going to be Sandro Botticelli, the great Renaissance painter. And I'm writing that article, and I've almost finished it. Not quite. It probably needs another edit. And obviously, I need to upload the images and that I'm going to feature as well. But that's in hand. But what I don't have at the moment is a featured guest artist. So again, what I'm going to be doing is using the previously mentioned, Instagram, Twitter, etc., to see if I can find someone who would like to be featured as the guest artist in this first edition. There's no cost to that. There's no payment either. But again, whoever, if someone is willing to submit 3 pieces of art and a small bio, they will get again completely free advertising for their own website or online shop or whatever that is, Etsy or whatever, and also will get a shout out on a subsequent video. So again, then we have the section submitted artworks, and again for exactly the same reason. Obviously, for this particular first edition, there are no submitted artworks because it's the first edition. So what I have done again is I've just featured some of my own artworks, just to fill up the space. But again, I've got placeholder boxes here, so that hopefully I will be able to find, in addition to the featured guest artist, at least 2 or 3, 4, whatever, other artists who are willing to submit something towards the first issue, basically. So yeah, in a nutshell, that is really all I wanted to say uh, in this video. I'm going to make another couple of videos, hopefully today, in which I'm going to talk about the artwork competition and indeed the poetry competition, which will be features of each issue. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening, and hopefully I'll be back in a few hours with another video with another upload. Thank you. Bye.